I love that. 300 Blackout. Banish 30 gold. We'll leave the empty in the chamber. Yes, Hickok 45, your quiet internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful hills of Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee, the home of a lot of viewers still and always of Paul Harrell, Jeff Quinn, James Yeager, and many others, right? So welcome all of you and everybody that just wandered in, wonders what this is about. It is a Sunday morning shoot around for November, the first one in November, and we yak. Man, I started to say yak a lot, shoot a lot. We yak a lot, shoot some, yak some, shoot a lot. It just depends on the Sunday, doesn't it? So glad you're here. Really glad you're here. And I'm going to shoot this 300 Blackout some. This is the Ruger. You've seen it, right? The Ruger American 300 Blackout. Bought down, oh gosh, yeah, Exile Armory. I bought it about, I don't know, when was that? Went down there with my buddy Charles about a year ago. Time flies. It's probably 10 years ago now. That's about how fast time flies. And bought it from Amber. That's right, Amber sold me on this. You've probably seen Amber on her morning videos. And now this is what I went for, really. I was looking for, I wasn't sure I was going to come back with a Ruger. I looked at the Savage and then this, maybe another one or two. And this is what I kind of wanted. Pretty cool. Takes an AR mag of any size, and got, like I said, I got the Banish 30 gold on there, and it's pretty quiet. 300 Blackout. If you really want, 300 Blackout has its lovers and its haters, doesn't it? And doesn't everything in the firearms world? I mean, really, any firearm, any caliber, any cartridge, any YouTube channel, I mean, whatever. It's people do not hesitate to express their love or their hate. That's kind of what it's about. But it depends on what you're doing with it. I mean, it's really, I think, held its own pretty well. You know, my gosh, a lot of firearms chambered in it. And if you're going to shoot suppressed, it's especially wonderful because you can really make it quiet. And it's not suppressed. You know, I put some standard ammo in this thing, or an AR, and it becomes more or less, I think of it as an AK, you know, 47, the 7.62 by 39 round, close to that. You know, then another cartridge, a modern cartridge. Of course, if a 7.62 by 39 round was made last week, that's a modern cartridge. Well, it's not a modern cartridge, not a modern design, but a nice cartridge. Intermediate 30 caliber. Yeah, so pretty cool. Got that out. I got something else too. I was in the mood to shoot this old 686. It has been neglected a little bit. It is the 686-1. Yeah, no funky key lock. Even has the firing pin mounted on the hammer. Yeah, boy, that's a nice one. I like that a lot. I'm gonna shoot that too. In fact, I might just go ahead and do it. You know, now it won't be as quiet. You know, I love Silencer Central, but you know, just still, I still have to shoot my revolvers loudly. Yeah, loudly. This ain't Clint Eastwood Magnum Force. You know, where the cop put a suppressor on the revolver. Python, wasn't it? Yeah, seemed to work for him. I guess all the suppressor technology experts just haven't seen that movie. Yeah. So speaking of that, we appreciate everybody helps us out. Bud's Gun Shop, great outfit. Just wonderful folks and a wonderful company. And then of course Silencer Central. You've seen the Banish line. You're seeing one today, aren't you? And then of course SDI.edu, the Sonoran Desert Institute. All kinds of things you can learn about there from a distance. Okay, great distance learning school. Learn about firearms technology, drone technology, all kinds of things. Okay, check them out. SDI.edu. Look what they have to offer. And where was I? Oh, I was going to shoot this. Let's do that. Now I got to put my ears in for this. Am I recording? Yeah, why not? Since I'm here and I'm talking to the camera, I might as well have it turned on, don't you imagine? Make sense? Wow, that was a Magnum. That was, Underwood ammo. In fact, that was Underwood I was shooting in the 300 Blackout. Let's put one of these hot rounds on old Clyde over there. Sorry, Clyde, just had to do it. Yeah, boy. And an orange 2-liter, you know, since y'all just finished celebrating Halloween, right? Let's shoot this orange 2-liter. Yep. Hog gun. Click. Yeah. Just everybody's overdosed on candy, right? Because all of you have been out trick-or-treating, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, yes. Halloween. Halloween's fun. I think it's gotten to be more fun. Halloween's always been big. I guess people have always liked dressing up, that kind of thing. And when I was a kid, wow, we'd go out trick-or-treating, neighborhoods, and en masse. I mean, huge crowds. Streets were crowded. We were out there. We weren't as worried about the dangers. I think we got to where all that stupid stuff about somebody putting a needle in an apple and all that seemed like that came about when I was a dumb kid, around in the 50s or 60s, and we'd hear about that, and it got to where maybe we'd check things like that when we got home. But yeah, just didn't have the problems or the worries. I've talked about that, how my childhood is different. I don't know if I've posted that one yet. I guess I haven't. I've got a talks kind of on that, how my childhood was so different. I'm basically an alien, you know, here on this planet. I think that's what I have named that video, that Hickok 45 is an alien, and it gets to that point about how some of you all and I had such an incredibly different childhood than most people. So watch for that. It might be posted now. You just never know. I don't know when I'm going to post it, and I don't know when you're going to see this. Just a lot of stuff I don't know. What else? Well, okay. Yeah, don't forget about the Hickok 45 Talks channel, even though I'm so dumb. Sometimes when I'm introducing one of those videos, I say Clips channel. Duh. Well, you know, you can tell by the title. And you know, anything goes on the Talks channel. You know, tell them what'll show up there. I get a little philosophical at times. I may talk guns. I may read a book. I don't know. Just whatever I want to do. That's the whole purpose of it. Do what I want to do. I kind of do anyway. So speaking of the viewers of Paul Harrell, James Yeager, Jeff Quinn, etc., etc., what? Give me some feedback. What would you say was Paul Harrell's favorite handgun? The Beretta 92? What was his favorite handgun? If you had to rank them, his top couple. Same with Jeff Quinn. What would you say? Ruger 44 Special? I don't know. Some of y'all have seen more of their videos than I have. I've seen a number of the videos, but I, you know, I don't have as good a handle on that. So let me know what you think. Right? I'm asking for a reason. You'll see. And of course, you should be, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, you should be getting ready to go to the polls if you haven't been there already, right? So vote, vote, vote. you know, don't make up an excuse, sit in the basement and complain. Vote, and then you have more license to complain, right? Or not complain. Don't forget the hurricane victims. Wow, it's going to be a while before everybody gets over that one. Let's see how many rounds I have left in this magazine. Yeah, I got a couple. Let's pop something else, won't you? Okay. Remember, if you were paying attention, I left a live or an empty round, otherwise known as a piece of brass, under the bolt. So it's fired already. Let's rack that one out. There it is. Put a live one in. Okay. And I don't know. I got this old red dot on here. I'm seeing 2 dots, but I'll see if I can hit the buffalo over there. Yep. I was using the wrong dot that I'm seeing. Aim a little higher. Yeah, put the bottom dot on him. Gotta remember that. When you get the distance, I need to use the bottom dot. Yep, works. Okay. So let me forget that. Okay. Let's, did we shoot a 2-liter with this? We did not, did we? Let's shoot that one right there. I like to hear the sound of it. Just a thud. And a bowling pin. Boom. Went right through it. Got one more round, and you know who wants that? Clyde wants that. Right in the head. Pretty cool. 300 Blackout is fun. It's a nice old rifle, I'll have to say. Ruger American 300 Blackout. And we get the Banish. See if I can read. Banish 30 Gold. I think I have called it the Banish Gold 30. The Banish 30 Gold. Okay, I like that. Also want to thank Alabama Holster for their support. I have one in my pocket. I sure do. Look what I have today. Look at that. I got my Smith & Wesson. Been carrying the last week or so. The M&P Bodyguard 2.0. Couldn't think what it was. Got my Pro Talon grips on it in a Alabama holster. So it's a nice little package when you want something extremely light. Extremely light. So appreciate Alabama Holster. Great little Kydex holsters. And this is a you know, we got into the 300 Blackout when it came out. Somebody ACC I think sent us an upper way back in the days. I don't know. And we tried it out. It's kind of neat. And we had some issues with the standard AR-15 magazines. It kind of depended on the magazines. They kind of worked, but then sometimes they were not really smooth and everything. And you know, then I didn't shoot a lot of it for a long time, but then in the interim, the companies came out with actually 300 Blackout magazines. Just a little bit different. I don't know, the lips a little wider. I'm not sure what all they did. Dimensions just slightly different. And both Magpul and this is a Lancer, and there's probably others, no doubt. And they just work better. Just a little bit of tweaking, just a tip. Now maybe you're not having any issues with the standard AR-15 5.56 mags. They might work just fine for you. And you find them cheaper, or you got a million of them, or whatever it might be. The ones you didn't lose in the lake. But I was glad to see the 300s come out, because that's what I have purchased a few of, just to shoot 300, whether in this or in my AR 300 Blackout. So yeah, nice. And I actually like this little what is that, a 10 rounder, I guess. It's kind of perfect for this rifle. You need to get some more of those. Don't need a you know, 20 plus round mag in for this. Don't need a lot of things, do we? But we have them. And this nice old 357 with those Magnum grips. Those are beauts. Oh man. So yeah, the election. Don't forget. Get out there. Uh, yeah, for one point, last point on that. Again, I don't know if that's the last point. We'll see what happens this week, right? But I still, I've talked about this before somewhere, I still am not perplexed, but I get a little bit amused uh, at all the talk about where candidates are spending their time and where they're going and which states and where they're trying to get votes and all this kind of thing. And, you know, I've said before, knocking on doors, or, you know, people who are part of the army of supporters for whichever candidate, you know, are getting out and canvassing neighborhoods, or they're knocking on doors and all that kind of thing. And they'll talk about how they really think their efforts are going to make a big difference in this last month or whatever. You got all these people working and making phone calls and whatever they're doing. And again, I think, oh, well, that's nice. Am I the only one that makes absolutely no difference to? I mean, absolutely none. Like, duh. It sort of comes down to what the candidate stands for, you know. And you know where I come from. I'm lean heavily libertarian, so individual liberty and you know, smaller government and all of that. And so it doesn't matter how many people knock on my door or try to call my phone, or I see on ads on TV or on my phone or what. It makes absolutely no difference. I know what the person stands for. I know their history, and that doesn't take a whole lot of work to figure out. So yeah. Anyway, that does always strike me. And I know, I know, it's like the undecided groups, you know, like, wow. Especially these days, how can you be undecided? But, you know, a lot of people, we forget, I won't say they're clueless, but they just don't follow things and keep up with what's going on or where people stand on things. And that's really the only way, I guess, unless you have no foundational philosophy about life and how you think a country should be run or how governments should act and all that sort of thing. Unless you just you've never even thought about all that. You know, it's just perplexing, isn't it? You know, when something is so clear. I mean, it's like, you know, okay, let's come up with some stupid analogy. You know, when my brain starts turning, you're in trouble, right? If you're listening. Like, what if I'm a candidate, and who else? Someone else you know on YouTube is a candidate, and we get to decide whoever gets elected. Well, who should it be? Let's pick out somebody. 22 Plinkster. Okay. So he and I are running for office, and man, we have a lot of power, because depending on who wins the election, for the next 4 years, and we're not talking about president, we're just talking about the person in charge of armaments and firearms. So if I win, I am going to dictate that everybody can only own and shoot revolvers for those 4 years, or only shoot revolvers, let's say, for those 4 years. You can only buy revolver ammo. Yeah, okay. And if 22 Plinkster wins, he's already made it pretty clear, pretty simple. You can only shoot semi-autos and buy semi-auto ammo, whatever caliber, okay? So, that's the way it's going to be, one way or the other. So we get a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks away from that election, and would you be undecided? Would you be? I'm not sure who to vote for. Well, think about it. Would you rather be limited to a revolver? Would you rather be limited to a semi-automatic? You know, the decision. So anyway, that's the best I could come up with off the top of my head. All right. Well, what do I need to shoot? Let's shoot the revolver. Speaking of that, I'm going to shoot some kinder and gentler 38 specials. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Also, don't forget the hurricane victims, and do what you can to help there. Oh, I grabbed the wrong box, I think. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, 38 special. Okay. Uh, oh, I know something I wanted to mention. I'm loading this thing up. I posted the Hickok 45 talks this week about the choices we make. I think I called it something like that. And this happened with something else. Maybe it was a Hickok 45 talks video. Maybe it was a Sunday shoot around. Giving me a hard time about wearing a Carhartt shirt because of a lot of people have turned against Carhartt because of their stand during the pandemic, you know, vaccines and all that kind of thing, requiring their people to get, I forget exactly what the specifics were, but it was not good. And so yeah, I just want to explain that. Maybe a little apology. I don't know. I'm not. That is definitely my stance too. When all that came about, and I've talked about this, I guess. I started because I've always liked Carhartt. In fact, I might have written them years ago. People would ask because I'd always wear it. It was just the fact I could find shirts that fit me without going to tall sizes, and then they actually had tall sizes, and you know, pretty good clothing, at least back in the day. And so I just wore those, you know, and because I live in t-shirts, long sleeve or short sleeves, you know, like, and we even did a little short video because people would ask, "Are you sponsored by them? Are you sponsored by them?" And we did a little short FAQ video, clever thing. I think I was driving I was sitting in a little earth mover kind of thing that was on my property at the time. We had some construction going on. Anyway, we did actually contact, I think, or I meant to, see if they would be interested in being a sponsor, since I like their clothes. I always wear them, whatever. I don't know if I ever did or not. But anyway, yeah, when that happened a few years back, I started looking for other t-shirts that I liked that would fit me, and I started cutting off the labels of the ones I had. And as soon as they would get old at all, I made sure I just tossed the thing. I donated a bunch of them, you know, to the Bethesda Center over in Cheatham County, and I still had a few that were brand new. I think still in the package maybe. My wife cut off a lot of the labels with the little doodads you had on the pocket, and then I cut off some and all that. We were making that zombie movie too. I remember about that time, maybe before that, yeah. And had to cut the labels off of several for that because you weren't, you know, allowed to have a label advertising. You know, not that it was an ad, but in being in the movie. And so anyway, yeah, it's been a mission of mine to get away from Carhartt when that news of that hit, and I have. Pretty much. It's just occasionally there's a lapse. I don't think about it. I've probably got a couple still, you know, around, hanging in a closet or something, and I don't forget. I don't notice the label. Mostly I wear Duluth now. Now, what's Duluth going to do? And I'm going to have to switch again. But yeah, pants and shirts, Duluth. But yeah, so yeah, that is my bad when I do that. I don't mean, but again, I don't know. I'll try to throw those away or do something with them. I go cut the label off. I don't want to be giving them advertisement. I feel the same way most of you all do about that. So, yeah, I had that on my list. But again, if I do, I mean, some video that hasn't been posted yet. I'm sure I've got a talks or something, or clips John will pull out, or an old video. You'll come up, something, I'll be wearing one of those. But just so you know, as of the last few years, I have definitely moved away and tried to totally eliminate that from my wardrobe, from my stylish, highly fashionable wardrobe. All right. Oh, I started to say 357 Magnum, but it's not. It's 38 Special. No, wait a minute. It says 357 Magnum on the side. Let's reach out. Oh, I wasn't ready. There we go. Nice sound. What do you think, Clyde? What do you think, cowboy? That reminded me. Gosh, don't you wish everything didn't remind me of something? These Sunday videos would just be 3 minutes long. the see, that was on the, it was just on the main channel, a main video about Dirty Harry, being a wimp. Is he a wimp? Because he's shooting specials and it's 44 Magnum, all that kind of thing. Hopefully you've seen that video, just posted a couple of weeks ago. And, it's kind of interesting, some of the comments on that video. Some people tend to forget he is a fictional character. Like I said earlier, people just want to love or hate every caliber gun and argue about everything, don't we? In the gun world, even about fictional characters. No, he really wasn't a wimp. He actually only practiced with the special rounds, and they weren't really 44 special. They were Magnums, but a special load. I mean, some people get kind of upset about that. And of course, my take still is it's whatever the piece of art says. That's what it is. That's whatever the movie script says. That's all we have to go on. Really, I know we know that apparently Clint blew the line a little bit and read it wrong, said it wrong, or something like that. But that's all behind the scenes stuff. All we know is the movie. All right, what was said, the screenplay. So. But anyway, the other question, and some people address that, well, he's not really shooting a 40, he's not really carrying, it's not really a 44 Magnum if he's shooting 44 Special. It's not really a 44 Magnum. Well, yeah, we could argue that all day, couldn't we? This gun is a 357 Magnum revolver. It says it right on the barrel. But I can shoot 38 Special, and it's just like 44 Magnum, 44 Special, right? So, yeah, when I put 350 or 38 Special in this firearm, it does make it a 38 Special, I guess. Depends on what you're talking about, the context. No matter what, it is a 357 Magnum revolver, okay? But you do sort of turn it into a 38 Special when you put that ammo in it, okay? So maybe they shouldn't have put anything on the barrel. Yeah. Then we could say, okay, yeah, it's a 38 Special today. All right. All that stuff that really matters, right? Okay. Oh, man. Do I have any advice for young people so I don't keep you as long? I had something to talk about that's going to be too big. I'm going to put it in a talks. Yeah. Put it in the talks. Don't forget the talks channel now. I'm not going to sit in the woods and talk if you don't show up. Okay? And just because it's not some crazy topic, come by and see what I have to say, please, or I'm just not going to say it. Young people, it just came to me in the last few minutes. I had this long thing I was going to talk about. I'd save that for a 20-minute talks. But which I might do today, at time. Thought I'd talk about this. Just sort of came to me. I was thinking about kids and young people. Young people covers a wide range, doesn't it? Yeah, it's relative. To a 95-year-old, I'm young. To my mother-in-law, who's 98, I'm a young people. Insecurity. People are more insecure, I think, when they're young. Sometimes, now this excludes that percentage of young people and everybody, whether you're 6 or 10 or 15 or 20, that have been so pampered and spoiled and told every minute that they are the most special human on the planet. Now, maybe they don't have any insecurities. They've got the other problem. They think they're so special that they're entitled to anything, they know more than any adult and anybody their age or whatever. Now, there's that segment of those. But that's a smaller segment, I think. I taught for a long time. I've had a lot of exposure to young people, and they're fun. They really are. They're demanding. It's teaching. If you've never done anything like that, it's kind of exhausting, more than you would think, because you've got to be focused that entire day. You're responsible for these little humans, no matter what age they are, even if they're 16 or 18. You're responsible for them in that building. You know, kind of what they're doing is safe and just everything. And then you get on down to middle school and younger, you have even more responsibility. And but anyway, there is a lot of insecurity just from being young, and it just shouts out at you so much. And one thing I was going to say, try not to be unduly insecure if you're young or old. Now here's the Emerson wisdom I've got for you. Okay, young person, if you're a little insecure about things, you're really not as dumb and ugly as you think you are. Okay? You can quote me on that. You're not as dumb and as ugly as you think you are. All right. Because when you're 11 or 12 or 13, or especially in middle school years, you just get the impression that you don't know anything sometimes, or oh, I'm not pretty like she is, or I can't play football like him. And there's just so many reasons to be insecure, you know, as you're trying to fight your way through the challenges of life and growing up and the transitions there, especially in middle school and all that kind of thing. I observe this, well, daily, but one of the things I always thought was interesting, when I taught 7th grade for a lot of the time, and those kids would be in the same school building and in the school for, you know, through graduation, most of them. And it was funny, as they would get older and move on to the 8th or 9th grade, and it took me a while to figure this out. This happened my very first year of teaching at a different school. I had taught 7th grade there too. And it was the same situation. It was a private school, went through 12th grade, and you know, we'd have a good year, and the kid, you know, you just connect with the kids generally, most of them, and everything, and kid with them all year, and beat on them all, you know, to beat information into their brains, and just the daily interaction all year long, you get close to them. They're like your own kids almost. And anyway, and they would respond and, you know, and interact and talk to you before class and after class. You know, you just felt like things are going well, and not that you're there to be popular, but you just know where the kids hate you or like you, okay, and they're learning and they're going on with what they're supposed to be doing. Anyway, they go to the next year. I would notice, because they're developing, you know, and growing and maturing in every way, and they get into the 8th grade, and they'd get a little sheepish. It was kind of funny, and then you talk to them, and you'd see them, and they'd be almost reluctant to want to talk to you sometimes. You see them in the high school and be a little the same. It was kind of weird. I said, well, Mary Lou or Ralph, they I don't know, they must be carrying a grudge about their 7th grade English class. You know, they just actually hated me or something. And this would happen, or I would just notice it, that they were just kind of different, and they weren't as anxious to say hi sometimes or whatever, and seemed more shy about it. And I finally kind of figured it out, that I think, and because once I don't know, we could be at a ball game or just in the hallway or whatever it might have been, and I get to talking to one of them that's been kind of acting like that, and just ask them how they're doing and everything, and you know, talk about the game or just whatever it was, and they would kind of come back around, and they were okay then. It was like they felt, and this actually relates to what I was talking about. I figured out that in a lot of cases, you know, and I was the same way. When I was in, middle school, different grade levels, if I ran into a teacher that I had a couple of years ago, and maybe I was average in that class, which I wasn't a lot of them, or whatever it was, I wasn't prepared sometimes, or whatever the case was, you know, kind of like, okay, I hope he doesn't see me, you know, And I kind of figured out there was a lot of that, and I sort of needed to reconnect with them and talk to them a little bit, and then they were okay, because I think I was pretty strict, and you know, class was kind of tough and everything, but I never judged them on you know, whether they were a C student or an A student or anything like that, or an Ed D student, whatever it might have been. But I think that through those ages, we kind of we feel like when we're in 7th grade or 8th grade or whatever grade, we just want to put that behind us. Oh, I was so dumb in the 7th grade or in 8th grade or in 9th grade. I was such a dummy. Oh, there's Mr. Smith. Oh gosh, I know when he sees me, he's thinking about that paper I wrote about this book, this story, and I didn't read it, and I know he could see right through it, and he caught me on that. He could tell I didn't know what I was saying, and man, when he sees me, I know that's what's on his mind, you know, and that's what a lot of it was. Because once I sort of reconnected and have a chat with them and let them know, that stuff, I don't even think about that, you know, that's being a kid. That's the kind of stuff I did. And so anyway, you're not as dumb and you're not as ugly as you think you are or you think you were, okay? Everybody goes through that, and everybody has those same thoughts, right? Yeah, I mean, to this day, if they were still alive, my high school teachers, and I guess none of them are, you know, I would just want to kind of hide my face, you know, so not every class, but in some of them. So anyway, keep that in mind. Your teacher, now there may be an exception on that end too. There's very few. It's like cops or nurses, anything. There's a small percentage of immature. Now I'm immature, but I'm not immature in a malicious way. Never have been, and I don't think. And you might have a teacher. I can think of one or two, and even one that I taught with maybe in a building. That you know, kids didn't really like her, and she probably would remember that Mary Lou didn't turn in some serious assignment, and every time she sees Mary Lou, whether she's 30 years old or whatever, she might think about that and hold that against her. But that's really rare, very rare. Okay. Can I shoot this thing again? Oh, got off on all that. All right. I actually enjoy teaching, and I could write books on that. I had, you know, it's a challenge, but I had lots of good experiences. All right. 300 Blackout. Yeah, I like it. By the way, for new people, most of these are Underwood. They're no, that's a box that I'm not shooting. I picked that one up. That's 125 grain. Here I was going to educate you wrong. That's 125 grain too. Well, I had these. I won't need to open them, but I threw those in case I needed them, and those are lighter weight. So those would not be subsonic. Okay, what's in here are 200 grain bullets or 220, and that's why they're so quiet. And I don't know why I have my ears in. Duh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now that's what I like. That's when a suppressor becomes really fun, when it sounds like that. Let's kill that hog quietly. All right, and we got to hit the gong again. I love that. Like you're spitting it at him, and then boom. So you're throwing a bullet, 220 grains. It's almost as heavy as a standard 230 grain ball, 45 ACP round. You know, and but yet very, very quietly, and it's a rifle round, so that's always fun. Okay, anything else? I guess not. So hope you have voted, or you're planning to vote Tuesday. and I know a lot of people have voted early, and we'll see how all that goes. Hopefully there will be an answer on Tuesday, one way or the other, and it won't drag on. Many of you go back to, was it 2000, that election with the hanging chads in Florida and all that. They got their act together after that, and they're, I think, one of the top states in the country in terms of handling an election. And I believe I heard somebody from Florida saying they would have the results in by 10 o'clock or something, that night. We'll see. And real results, not just some prediction, I think. So that's, be nice if we could do it in every state. We need to get the people out of Florida to travel around the country and get everyone else straightened out, right? So let's hope we won't have any issues there. All right, so appreciate you guys coming by and enjoying this Sunday with me. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. There's probably something I forgot to tell you, and there's probably nothing you needed to know anyway. But anyway, I'm here, and it's a Sunday, and it's still some really nice. Well, look at this short sleeve shirt, November, and and it's not, you really, you can't fully appreciate it. Well, maybe you can see some of that, but it's beautiful. It's more beautiful back behind you. Just turn around and look at that, and you'll see it. And right now we're just kind of at the peak, I guess. Not the most beautiful fall, but it's pretty nice considering how dry it's been. So this is my favorite time of the year, and oh boy, it's about 72. If I think, see what temperature might be. Yeah, warmer than that a little bit. I could take this every day of the year. Of course, then it would become boring, right? But if I'm gonna be bored with the same weather every day, let's just let it be like this and look like this, okay? At least we're bored. It's kind of like being bored, well, I started to make some joke about supermodels, but yeah, this is like Southern California, weather largely is just like perfect most days in terms of temperatures and everything. So I'd rather be bored with that or this today than have a constant 20 degrees somewhere, way up north, and have to get bored with that. Yeah, brilliant on it. So, what, I am going to shoot some more Magnums, clean the lead out, so I guess I might as well let you hang around to do that. I always finish up shooting some jacketed rounds. Those last 6 I shot were the 38 Special, were lead, and I always finish up with jackets to make sure there's no lead in the bore. There's a video on that. All right. Remember to put the ears in on this one. All right, we're shooting Magnums. Why don't we just pretend that paper has turned aggressive on me? Yeah. And endure the recoil and blast, and just blasting. So look at that, I almost blew it off there. So I will let you go, and I'm glad you came by. I really appreciate your supporting people who support us, Ballistol, Talon Grips, Gun Fun Targets, everybody. A great collection of folks that make this possible, and always fun to come out and shoot. I will try to stick it out through the winter. I'll do it because I still like to shoot even if it's uncomfortably cold. And as you know, I pick a day of that week when it's the warmest, and that usually there is a day where it's not too bad. And since I want to shoot at least once a week anyway, I will continue through the winter, but we're not there yet. In Tennessee, we normally get some pretty decent weather right up through December at times. Get some cold weather as well, But we get some pretty decent weather until we get into maybe the latter part of December, or into January and February are the worst months. Yep. So that's where it really can be very cold. Maybe we are in a cycle where it's going to be a little warmer for whatever, a few hundred years or a millennium, and it'll go back to being cold again. We're always in weather cycles. Be fine with me if we are in it. It would be great if I can just live out the rest of my life in a warmer weather or climate cycle. Yeah, I would be very, very happy about that. And let people 139 generations down the road have to experience the cooler cycle. Yeah, I tend to like warmer weather. So I better quit rambling and let you go. Really do appreciate you all. Enjoy your coffee and have a great week. Work hard. Life is good.